YouTube is fine. Good? We're good to go? Yeah. Hi, good afternoon. In accordance with Sections 45 and 53 of the Planning Act 1990 as amended, this meeting of Committee of Adjustment of the City of Toronto is called to order. And the Committee of Adjustment consider application for variances from the provisions of the zoning that applies to property, permission to extend or alter lawful non-conforming uses, and also consent to survey property to create new lots. My name is Yim Chen. I will be the chair for today's meeting, and I'd like to introduce the panel. My panel sitting opposite to me is Mr. Sahi Bayat and Mr. Jordan Addison. So I also like to acknowledge the land we are meeting on is the traditional territory of many nations, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anasabe and the Chippewa, and the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples, and is now home to many diverse nations, Inuit, Métis peoples. We also acknowledge that Toronto is covered by Treaty 13 and the Mississauga of the Credit. Committee of Adjustment public hearings are now conducted in a hybrid in-person and virtual format. Some applicants and participants will make their submission in person, and others will participate virtually by electronic means through WebEx, an online digital platform. The meeting are also streamed on the Toronto City of Planning YouTube channel, and anyone wishing to view the hearing may watch on YouTube. Those who want to participate virtually and have registered in advance will be connected with their computer, tablet, smartphone, or telephone, and have the options of participating via video or audio only. All virtual participants will automatically be muted on entry. When the item is called, you will be unmuted by the moderator, one person at a time. We ask that you will also mute your devices until you're called to speak. And those participating by video appearance will be temporarily upgraded to panelists when your item is being held. By this time, your camera will be enabled. You will only be visible during your 5-minute speaking time. At all other times, your video will be disabled and you will be stated as attendee. For both in-person and virtual participants, Committee Adjustment staff will share presentations submitted in accordance with the written submission deadline. Those participating through WebEx are not allowed to use share screen or any other panelist controls during a video appearance. The host will remove you from the panelist's role if you fail to respect this instruction. How to receive a decision of the committee? People attending in person today who want to receive a copy of the decision committee on an application must fill out a decision request card. And those participating virtually need to submit a written request for decision by email. Please ensure that you include your name, address, and email address because the Committee of Adjustment and the Toronto Local Appeal Body, TLAB, will be sending notifications and appeal updates by email. If you do not agree with the decision of the committee, you may be able to appeal the decision to the Toronto Local Appeal Body, or in some limited circumstances to the Ontario Land Tribunal. However, the provincial government amended the Planning Act and generally removed rights of third parties to appeal Committee of Adjustment decisions. Only the applicant, the Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing, specified persons and public bodies, as those terms were defined in the Planning Act, are permitted to appeal decision of the Committee of Adjustment. Appeal instructions are set out at the bottom of the decision of the committee. And the hearing procedure is I will call each item in order to raise that in the order of the agenda. When you are making your submission, when an application is uncontested, the agent or applicant may proceed with their presentation if desired. When the committee does not require presentation, applicants are to advise the chair should they wish to speak to the committee. The committee may ask questions or take the matter into committee for decision. And each speaker, including the applicant or agent, will be given a maximum of 5 minutes to address the committee. and I will comment when you're reaching your 5-minute limits. Any presentation or other materials you wish to submit to the committee must have been emailed in advance of the hearing. Staff and committee members cannot accept material at the hearing. When addressing the committee, please clearly state your name and address, and please remember to confine your remarks to the matters outlined in the application. The applicant or agent will proceed first and will make a presentation to the committee of the application, and please note that the committee may not entertain revisions to proposal at the hearing date. The committee may decide to defer the application if substantially revised to ensure the revised application is accurate and that all those entitled to notice of the applications are informed of the changes. Then individuals either in support or opposed to the application will be invited to speak. Generally, we will call on speakers in the hearing room and then those participating through WebEx. Committee members may ask questions of each speaker after they have finished. When all the speakers are finished, the applicant or agent have opportunity to rebut only those issues that are raised by the speakers. This will mark the end of the discussion, and the application will then be taken into committee for decision. And for this time slot, do we have any file to close or defer?
Good afternoon, Madam Chair and panel members. I see no files to be closed. Are there any conflicts of interest?
Yes.
I'm gonna declare conflict for item number 22, 127 Douglas Drive. I
Okay.
note as well, in the minutes, I've already declared conflict with this at the previous hearing. And the reason being I serve with the agent on a Heritage Advisory Committee.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so, thank you. Anything about the staff? No conflict interest? Okay. Oh, so are we ready for item number 20?
Through you, Madam Chair, there are two requests for deferral,
okay.
item number 23 and 24. I don't
Okay.
know if we want to deal with those right now. There are no registered speakers for both items.
Maybe we should, because it's so close to,
Sure.
the beginning, yeah.
Okay.
So let's deal with number 23. There's a request for deferral. Number 23 is 92 Helena Avenue. We have the agent here.
David, you've been unmuted.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair,
Yes.
committee members.
Yes.
David Stickney, the agent for the owners of the property.
Can you tell us why you asked for deferral, please? Yeah.
Yes, of course. The proposal is showing a 6-inch side yard setback, which was in tandem with the neighbor's laneway suite. In effect, what the neighbors have done is constructed the laneway suite right to the property line, which would leave a 6-inch setback on the west side of the storage shed. If they were to build a garage, there would be no setback required, but because that 6-inch space is meaningless and impossible to maintain, the idea was that we would ask for deferral to come back with a proposal where it is right against the adjacent laneway suite that was constructed.
Okay. Oh, it means that the deferral will allow you to revise your design so that you eliminate the variance number 1, no, or it will be 0 setback, I'm sorry, not eliminate.
It would increase variance number 1, yes,
Yeah,
and would eliminate variance 2.
I see, so you need time to do this revision, okay?
Yes.
That sounds like a good reason.
I'll put forth a motion to defer the application so the applicant can revise the associated variances.
Yeah, just add a note, no one is opposing the deferral request, right? No, there's no one. Okay, that's good, that's, yes. Mr. Saiz, second, and all in favor for deferral? Yeah, it's deferred unanimously, thank you. Yeah. Oh, that's number 20, defer, yeah, okay.
Item number 24,
Yes.
no registered speakers. Agent is also requesting deferral.
Okay, number 24. It's 34 HIAWATha Road. Can we have the agent?
Faraz, you've been unmuted.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Good afternoon, Madam Chair and committee members. This is Faraz Puyende, 105 Harrison Garden Boulevard. My owner, I mean my client, requested me to change the design for multiplex housing, maybe, and he wants to defer this to change the design, and then, if required for the committee of adjustment, then later submit for that new design.
Oh, that's coming from your client?
I'm the
That-
designer. Yeah, I am
Oh,
designer and the
oh,
applicant. Yeah.
Okay. Or you have been in communication with community planning and is also working with them, with the community planning, that you make the division, or?
No, not yet. We
No.
are working on the new design. Yeah.
Oh, so it's not a defer, it's a re-application with it, right? But defer, they will submit a new application.
Yes,
Revision.
revisions.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
revision. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I guess you can, there's a good reason, all right?
I'll move for
Okay.
deferral, Madam Chair.
So that you can revise the design.
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Ellison, second, all in favor of deferral? Yeah, all in favor.
And through you, Madam Chair, item number 19, this item has been postponed to
Yes.
a later hearing date because
Yes.
the agent
Do we
wasn't
need a motion for that?
ready.
No.
No,
No,
it's just
okay.
automatically postponed.
Okay.
So we can start with item number 20.
Okay, number 20, let's go back to number 20. 88 Queen Street East, the purpose for this application is to serve the property to create many easement right away. This is a 52-story mixed-use development. And then, there's no opposite, okay, yes, I have this here. Just this is. And on this file, we received a survey, site plan, floor plans and elevations, a revised public hearing notice, and a draft plan of survey, and also cover letter from the agent, and area certificate, and revised plan listing. And we received comment from community planning and also a staff report from development engineering.
Through you, Madam Chair, we do have the agent Martin Rendell here in person. No registered speakers for this item.
Okay, so, all right, we're ready. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for hosting this, and I'd like to thank staff for the assistance on this application. It is a application, basically, this is a 52-story mixed-use condominium commercial building on Queen Street between Dalhousie and Mutual, and you can see there the blue is the site area. The purpose of this consent application is to sever the non-residential space which will be used for a hotel, and that's from the ground floor up to the 6th level, as well as going with the hotel in the 3 parking levels below grade. There are parking spaces assigned to the hotel that go with that package. So it's simply, I can call it an internal division of the existing building, which is under construction now, to allow for the hotel to be sold to a hotel operator with the appropriate parking, as well as easements between the residential condominium and the hotel for access, vehicular, pedestrian, maintenance, I'll say all of the usual types of reciprocal kinds of easements that are required. I'm aware of the report from engineering and the conditions, and those are routine and fine.
Those are standard
Standard, yeah.
conditions, so you're fine with them. So Any questions? Do you have any question for this? No. And I guess that I will not ask about all those numbers.
And I did
I
all
don't
that
have
homework for
questions.
nothing?
Yeah, so, yeah, so we're ready to discuss this? Okay, we are in committee now, yeah. I guess this is very technical, in a way, and then if they make a few mistakes, I will never can tell, yes?
Oh.
All right. So, do we have?
It's been reviewed by many, many eyes.
Yeah, and I think always it's a case, it's very a technical
Yes.
issue that doesn't
Thank you.
warrant.
Can we just confirm there was a late report from community planning, I
Yeah,
believe?
that's
And were there any conditions
No,
noted in
yeah,
that?
that's it. That's the one that we were talking about, the standards, when the server create property, those are standard conditions they have to comply.
Oh, from engineering construction
Yeah.
services, but I meant, there's nothing from community planning that came in late? Okay, just making sure.
Yeah. Okay, with conditions. Are you making, yeah? you-
Sure, I'm happy to bring a motion to approve the subject application, including the recommendations noted in the engineering construction services
Mhm.
report.
Yeah, conditions.
I'll
So,
second
yes,
that.
yeah, Mr. Bias, second, all in favor with that condition? Yeah, approve.
Great.
Thank you
Thank
very
you very
much for
much.
coming, thank you. Okay, is it item 21, right? Okay, let me get it out. Next item is number 21, 3 Columbus Avenue. The purpose for this application is to create, to construct a new 2-story auxiliary building, which is like a laneway street in the rear yard. The existing 1-story detached garage will be demolished. They're looking for 4 variances. On this file, we received a copy of the last November 22nd public hearing meeting, and copy of survey site plan, floor plan elevation, revised site plan, and floor plan and elevations, and a cover letter from the agent, and email corresponding from the owner, and a shadow study by the architect or the agent. And we also received comment from Metrolinx, from community planning, from transportation engineering, and we have advisory staff report from Metrolinx. And we have support from a former tenant of 3 Columbus Avenue, and also opposition from number 1 Columbus Avenue.
Through you, Madam Chair, we do have the agent online. We have one speaker, I believe, in opposition and another in support.
Okay, let's have the agent then.
Tom, you've been unmuted. You may turn on your video.
Great. Hello, my name is Tom Knezich. I'm the owner of the property. Okay, great. See my video. And I'm the owner of the property. I'm also the agent, and I'm the architect.
Oh, okay. So
And
okay, everybody is fine.
Oh.
You have some opposition. We would like to have a presentation from you, maximum 5 minutes, please.
From myself, yes.
Yes, because I think we better listen to your presentation. Yeah.
Sure. Well, can I share my screen?
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah.
There we go.
He just shared. Okay.
So just wanted to show that this is the site. This is the house, 3 Columbus. You can see the corner here. And this
Through you,
is
Madam
the
Chair.
existing.
Sorry. Just wait a sec. We
Through
have
you, Madam
something.
Chair, Tom, you're not able to share your screen. That's for staff to do.
You
Oh, I'm
can-
sorry.
Yeah, you can ask them to bring up the material you just
So,
submitted, yeah.
Yeah, if you can just stop sharing your screen, and then
Yes.
we'll have staff share it, okay? Thank you.
I just wanted to show if you could show the drawings, I was showing the photos of the site. It's an existing garage that's legally existing on the property. And we want to remove it and build a laneway house.
Just wait, wait for them to bring it up first, then
Thank you.
we will hold the time until everything is ready, okay?
We don't
Is it in, not in the,
No, it's not in supplementary.
it's not in the supplementary either.
The drawings,
The shadow study and then the drawings.
there's architectural drawings.
But it's in the regular package, they have some drawings, that's what he's looking at, right, the site plan?
Yeah, that's the shadow study, and yes, that's the drawing set.
That's what okay. Oh, we're
Yeah.
ready, so,
If you can scroll down a bit here. That's a 3D view. You can scroll down to the photographs. That's those are actually legally existing, the drawings, the original building permit for so that if you stay there, you can see that that's the footprint we propose for this laneway house. It is on a laneway, it just happens to be on the side of a laneway. The reason we've tried to abide with every rule we can for laneway house development. Unfortunately, it's a very odd lot. It's very wide, but it has no backyard whatsoever. So we've put it on the side of the building in place of the garage. And as a result, though, that's where most of the variance requirements are triggered, because we are very close to 3 Columbus. We are closer than you would, if we were in a normal backyard, then we would be 7.5 meters away. We are much less than that, but we are on a side-by-side condition. So I spoke with planning, and when I explained the conditions, they were okay with this, because we've taken great care to limit the overlook between the two buildings. So if you scroll down, I'll show you the elevations. Keep going, a couple of pages. This is the view from we'll return to this in a moment, but you can see it's the same height that any laneway house would be, 6.3 meters. And it follows a street pattern that's already established. It's mostly duplexes and houses very close to each other. So this is actually, there's more space between these two buildings than there are elsewhere on the street. If you scroll down further to the elevations, keep going. This is the context. That's a useful one. Scroll down. Keep going a few more pages. And next page, I believe. Yeah, so this is the elevation that faces the house on the lot, 3 Columbus. And I've drawn the outline of 3 Columbus in a dotted line with all the windows. So you can actually see, if you were to superimpose, that none of the windows at 3 Columbus look into any of the windows in this laneway house. So we've taken care, because of the offset in the floors, we've taken great care so that you wouldn't compromise the privacy of each other. And if you scroll down one more page, one more. So this is the elevation from the lane, which also faces I believe it's a 6-story building at 1 Columbus. I want to show that we're taking care to protect the privacy on that side as well. So of the ground floor windows, you'll see are above a person's head height. The upper floor, the second floor window is frosted, so can't be seen through. And the large window to the left is actually on a stairwell landing. So it's not a room that somebody would sit in. It's merely in passing. So there really is no overlook in this case. So we've also tried to, we've made it the same height that we've complied with the height requirement for laneway houses. So it's 6.3 meters. And if you scroll up to the original site plan and a site elevation, a couple more pages. Keep going to the beginning. You see, that's the context, and that's the 6-story building next door at 1 Columbus. Go up one more page. I'm looking for one more page. One more. Yeah, that one. You can see that the height of the building at 6.3 meters really does not obscure the neighboring buildings. It's really at the floor level, at the second, well, that's the floor level of the second level of apartments. And lastly, there's also a shadow study, which I produced when we did receive a complaint. And it shows that in all cases, the shadows, this is the spring equinox. You see that the only time that the shadow of the laneway house even approaches the building next door.
Your 5 minutes is up, yeah. So,
Thank you. So there's no shadow effects.
okay. Yeah, thank you. We will hold our question to you after we hear the opposition. Okay, let's hear the opposition.
Through you, Madam Chair, let's start with the support. So we'll unmute Lauren McCauley.
Oh, okay, we have one support, one to speak.
Chair and committee members, my name is Lauren McCauley. I currently reside at 109 Joffrey Street, Unit 2 in Toronto, Ontario. In terms of a little bit of a background, I am the former tenant of 3 Columbus Basement Suite, so Tom was my former landlord. I'll try and keep this brief, as you can see my letter of support here. I had lived in 3 Columbus Basement Suite up from July 2021 up until March of 2024. The only reason that I had sought another apartment to live in is because I had lived there solo for many years, and then my partner moved in. So we were looking for a larger space to grow into together. Now, Ronci, I love it. My partner loves it. It is super walkable, safe, community-oriented, great access to transit, green spaces, super rare in the city, not something to be taken for granted. We were hoping to stay in the neighborhood. We're priced out, as many, many Torontonians are. I know I'm beating a bit of a dead horse there. But nevertheless, we were hopeful to find a space within the neighborhood to stay, and that proved extremely challenging. As someone who's a lifelong renter, I think that laneway houses provide a much needed answer to the need of densification in Toronto. It's not going to significantly change the look and feel of the neighborhood. As young professionals, we'd like to stay, as would many other Torontonians who are seeking alternatives to the luxury condos or the, Tom being the wonderful exception, a lot of really tiny opportunistic basement suites. It shouldn't take dozens and dozens of viewings and offerings and competing offerings to find a space for, young folks and families to live within this neighborhood. So I really urge the committee to consider the needs of renters in this city and for folks who are looking for an affordable alternative to owning property in neighborhoods as wonderful as this. So that is what I'd have to say in support of this motion. So I'll leave that to the opposition to continue the conversation. But thank you for your time.
Thank you. Any question to this speaker? Okay, we don't have any questions. Okay, the next one then. Yeah.
Through you, Madam Chair, we will unmute the owner at 1 Columbus Avenue.
All right.
Noel, you've been unmuted.
Okay, hello. My name is Noelle Aaliyah. I am an owner of 2 units at 1 Columbus Avenue.
Mm-hmm.
I participated in the November Committee of Adjustments meeting opposing the laneway suite. At that time, there were 4 other unit owners that we kind of came together. Elizabeth Stalteri, who is an owner and a board member here at 1 Columbus, had penned a very effective letter with our opposition. I am right now just representing my own concerns. I would like to first just say that from an article recently on CBC on March 10th about garden suites, there was a very clear definition presented that a garden suite or a laneway suite must not be on a public lane. Our concern, and my specific concern, is that the laneway that is adjacent to this proposed build at 3 Columbus, right next to our building, is a laneway between Columbus Avenue and Grenadier Road. As has been expressed already, this is not a traditional laneway suite proposal because it is not behind a building. behind a backyard, an alleyway that is in between two roads in Toronto. This laneway is very actively used by cars, people walking dogs, pedestrians, cyclists. That is my first concern of this building not actually, from my understanding, falling into the appropriate definition of what a garden suite or a laneway suite would be. In our opposition in November, we did address the issues of the height of the building, also about the curb. It was very clearly expressed our concern and opposition because of the tight parking that I believe it's 5 parking spots that use that laneway. And we also have quite a lot of difficulty in the winter, not this particular winter, but when there's a lot of snow accumulation, that lane is very difficult. Parking, snow removal is always an issue. So I'd like to very clearly express my concern that the curb does not, if this passes, will not be extended even 1/2 of an inch. Anything greater than the footprint it is right now is of a concern. I also don't really understand. I am aware that there was a shadow study done. In my letter that I sent for the deadline on March 25th, I reiterated the concern that was expressed in November about the light. My units that I own are not on that laneway side. However, knowing that if this building if it were to be accepted, approaching our building, 1 Columbus, which is actually a 4-story building, from the west side, my concern is that this new build will obstruct the view of the building. Our building is one of the few remaining hard lofts in Toronto, and this new build I find quite imposing and not, for me, unlike the person who expressed support of this build, I do not feel this build would help in any way the housing issue in Toronto. This is 1 Columbus and 3 Columbus are in a neighborhood where rents are high. It's not affordable housing. So that is one of my other concerns. But I also would like to put the question towards this committee of, since November, what kind of special dispensations or accommodations have been approved by the city and how this project is proceeding, because we haven't received any information of how things have changed since November. Not sure if I have anything else to add other than just my opposition. I would like this not to happen.
Okay. So you finished? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, unless there's a way to answer my question of what has changed since the November 22nd, I believe that's the right date, the previous Committee of Adjustments meeting.
Yeah, the agent the applicant will respond to that. But do we have a question to this speaker? Actually, I do have a question to you. Can you tell me, you are on number 1 Columbus, what level your units, or you have 2 units, which level your units are on?
The first unit is 102, which technically is a ground level unit, but it's actually above the garages, yes.
Okay.
And the other one is unit 401.
401 is on the
However,
highest floor.
Yes, however, the parking spot for 102 is directly in front of what will become possibly this laneway suite. And as I said, the owners of units.
No, that's all I want to know, where
We
your
are
location,
concerned about
location of your
parking.
units. Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Yeah. Any question? Okay, we can bring back the agent to respond.
Okay, that's what you get.
You heard
Hello.
the concern, right? I guess
Yes.
the main concern is an imposing structure and the use of the laneway. Basically, that I think, and some
Well,
shadow concerns, I think.
Well, it's a regrettable concern, and I had reached out to the building and all of its tenants starting, I believe, in September, maybe even in July. I've been, I tried many times to explain the project, so that wouldn't have to happen in this forum. I did respond to many of the concerns that the tenants had, or the owners of that building had, and that seemed to have satisfied them. So I wish I would have had a chance to point this out on site. I think drawings sometimes make things look more imposing than they are, but the reality is that this is actually a very small building, not really that much bigger than what's there right now.
Yes.
It is no closer to the laneway than the current garage, which is legally existing, and I don't intend to be any closer to the laneway. But I also do plan that I don't intend for my property to be part of the parking area for the neighboring building. Mm-hmm. I have been a good neighbor, and when I did first move in, I took down the fence that separated my property from the public laneway as a way to like be more neighborly. What's resulted is that it's often my property, and the city right away is often used to put snow from the parking spaces at 1 Columbus. But I mean, we all live in the city, we're all close together, but I'm certainly not looking to take any space away from the city, and nor am I even going any closer to the curb than it is now. But I don't think this is not a valid concern that they require to, that I'm going to be blocking their parking, because I won't. Mm-hmm. Second, there is no, the shadow study showed that even in the very worst case, which is the last case, the winter solstice at 3 p.m. on the bottom right, you'll see that the laneway house barely it crosses the property line and never actually touches the building. Mm-hmm. These are abstract. I mean, this is just showing the shading from the building. Like, there's all kinds of other things that are going to be shading. So there's no chance that this building would shade any part of 1 Columbus. Mm-hmm. And I've also, I've also taken great extent to protect people's privacy. Yes. Yeah. In the design.
Mm-hmm. And you're not using the laneway for any entrance or?
Not at all.
Not at all. I see.
Not at all.
Here. Okay. Thank you.
And furthermore, I mean, I propose a form of construction that's going to be very fast, more expensive, but very fast. And I've explained this to the tenants, so that we're not tying up the laneway more than we need to. I don't intend to block the laneway. Mm-hmm. I don't intend to set up scaffolding on the laneway. And it is a public laneway. It's very active, but there's no concern with that. I mean, laneway house, that is a public laneway, and a laneway house is permitted on that kind of lane. That's not one of the variances being requested.
Mm-hmm. There's also one question that actually, when I study the material, I can find out myself the change from the last November proposal. Oh, yes. You actually have increased the distance between the house and the laneway house and the number 3 Columbus. That's a major change that I can see. But the opposition wants to hear from you, I think. Maybe you can.
I'm sorry, I don't think we have changed the size of that distance.
I thought that it was from 4 meter, from 3 meter before to now it's 4 meter.
It's still, sorry, if you zoom in, it is, I can look at my drawings too. No, that has not changed. We're still
that's not changed.
3 meters, 3 meters distance. Unfortunately, I can't make it any narrower. It's already about as narrow as is feasible for any type of apartment.
Oh, I see.
What really I changed was I added to the drawings, more clearly illustrating the privacy of the windows. Mm-hmm. That there's no overlook from 3 Columbus, and that that the windows that are facing 1 Columbus in the laneway are privacy windows.
Yeah, you're right. I'm looking at the old one. Yeah, okay. Thank you for clarifying that for me. Actually, I was reading the previous. All right.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be interesting if you looked at the floor plans to see that this is not in any way a large house. It's a very modest. it could be a single family house or a house for a couple, but it's really like a tiny house more than
Yeah.
a house.
Okay. Thank you. Any question from you guys? Okay, we do not have any more question to you. So we are in committee now, in discussion. I look at this, when a 4-story building right next to it is not imposing, why a 2-story building is imposing, it's kind of really difficult to understand that.
It's a bit of a David and Goliath happening here. You look at the two, right? Like
Yeah.
how one can impact
I
the
do
other.
not know what is, even the 4-story building is not imposing to me, it's an apartment building, you know what I mean, like, but use that as a comparison, kind of strange. But I think that this is a very well-designed building, project.
Yeah, I think one of the, when one just looks at the variances, you know, it may be a bit jarring, but when you look at the context, and I think this particular proposal is very context specific.
Very,
Yeah.
very context specific, yeah.
Improving the current condition by a lot.
Absolutely.
You know, you need to
Yeah.
rebuild that little shed.
There's also a distance of 19 meters between the proposed
Yeah.
laneway structure and number 1, Columbus. The designer, the agent architect has also taken great pains to make sure there's no overlook from the structure
Yeah.
in looking in. So I think all in all, as
Yeah, it's very good
Jordan
design,
said,
yeah,
it's a very
especially
good project.
it's just avoid using the laneway for any reason, entrance or garage. So it's actually keeping the laneway way, not burden more use anyway.
It activates that laneway.
Yeah.
I think it anchors the corner with something that is desirable. If you look at the block plan, just a little bit of context, I mean, naturally, if you look at, you know, the division on this particular street, in a way, number 3, in all way, number 1 is almost, number 3, where the proposed laneway house is almost, you'd think naturally would be the location of another house, right?
Yes.
But it's frankly just because of the lot configuration that it turns it on its
Yeah.
side. I think in any other case, given the setback between the two structures, I'd have an issue with. But given that it's turned to the side,
Yeah.
and in a way it reads very much as
Infill,
frankly, another
yeah.
building, an infill house.
Yeah.
And I think as an infill house, it's very, very appropriate for
Oh, yeah,
the
the distance to
location.
all the structure. Okay, so we have a motion here.
Sure. Thank you,
Mr.
Chair.
Byard, yeah.
I'll put forward a motion. I put forward a motion to approve. I also note there are no conditions from the city at all.
No,
There are no other conditions in this particular case, so this is to move approval with no conditions.
okay. Second,
I
Mr.
will-
Allison?
I will second that.
Okay. All in favor, approved unanimously with no conditions. Thank you, it's approved, thank you.
Okay, through you, Madam Chair, we can deal with item 22, 127 Douglas Drive. We will ask Mr. Member Allison to leave the room as he has declared interest.
Yes.
And we do have the agent here in person.
Oh,
And
okay.
no registered speakers.
Familiar face.
Yeah.
The purpose for this application is to alter existing 2.5-story detached dwelling by constructing a west side 1-story extension and a 2nd-story addition above the existing attached garage, and a new west side carport undersized parking space, and a rear cover deck on the ground floor and 2nd floor. And the existing detached garage was previously converted to habitable space. Oh, it's already converted, the existing garage. And then they're looking for 5 variances. 7. We also received the public hearing material from February. 4 photographs of the property and cover letter from the agent, and comment we received from community planning, and also a staff report from Heritage. And we are ready.
Do you need an explanation?
Oh, no, do we have any opposition? No.
No registered speakers for this item.
Not yet. Let me check. Do you want a presentation? I don't need have a presentation. Do you
Not
have
required.
any questions?
No, because this, if I'm not mistaken,
That
is
is, yeah.
request for deferral? No, not on this one, I beg your pardon.
We did request a deferral in February, and we're now here with a slightly altered.
Altered one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's no staff, that's the staff report.
I did have one question.
Yes, please
if
go
it's
ahead, yeah,
appropriate.
definitely.
On this proposal, there's a second floor deck.
Yes.
I was just wondering, is there any overlook issues with the neighbor?
No, because if you look at one of the photographs, in the site photos, the first package, no, the previous ones, that's showing the parking space. In the package from the February hearing date.
Is it the photograph of what used to be the garage?
No, it shows what's there now. It shows the current one-story deck, which they've got a kind of a cover on, and then the existing second floor balcony. And it shows in behind the neighbor to the east, they have a huge deck on their one-story addition at the back of the house. And it has like a 6-foot-high privacy fence now. So we're
no
not
overlook
looking at them, we're just looking back.
Terrific.
Yeah.
That's good enough. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So you only require a heritage permit, isn't it, right? Or-
Yes, I will. I have been working with Heritage
Yeah.
through the whole process. They're fine with it. They just need to now know details with regards to materials, et cetera. So,
Yeah, it looks good, well-designed building. Really nice. Okay, no more questions. So we are in committee now.
Yeah,
So it's just you and I.
I think this is sorry. I think this is a supportable application.
Yeah.
I was also curious about the undersized parking space, but then I looked at the photograph of the undersized car, and that's a good thing. So I don't have any concerns about that at all. And while the rear second-story deck is larger than is allowed, I think in the context it's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
The variance number 3, which I would be concerned about, again, it's maintaining what I assume is an existing circumstance.
Yeah, that's right.
So I really don't see any issues with this particular
Yeah.
application at all, so I'd be quite happy to support it
With a heritage condition.
with the heritage condition, yes.
Okay, so I will second that motion, and all in favor with
Yeah.
unanimously approve. And I also think it's a well-articulated project.
thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. Okay. We have done 23? No.
Item 23 and 24 have been
Oh, yes,
deferred,
yes,
so
that's
we can
right.
move on to item number 25.
25, yes. Okay, just let me get 25. Item number 25 is 64 Prestegn Avenue. The purpose is to construct a new 2-story detached dwelling with a front integral garage, a covered front ground floor porch, and a rear ground floor deck, and a rear basement walkout. Also to construct an in-ground swimming pool in the rear yard. So they are looking for 6 variances. We also receive a copy of survey, site plan, floor plans and elevations, revised site plan, floor plan elevations, and 2 photographs of properties, and 6 photographs of the property received later. And we have comment from community planning and support from 18 signature. We are ready for the
Through you, Madam Chair, we do have the agent online, no registered speakers for this item. At this time, we will unmute Trevor Gain.
yes.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair. My name is Trevor Gain. I am the agent here on behalf of the owners.
Can you tell us also your address, your own address? Yeah. For
Yeah,
the
I'm at
record.
10 Celebrity Place in Markham, Ontario.
Okay, thank you. You know, you don't have any opposition. I'm going to check with the panel whether they require presentation, okay? No, No, they do not, they might have questions, but they do not need a presentation from you. Do you have questions to ask?
I have no questions, no.
No, I asked my panel members, yes.
I see.
Just a couple of quick ones.
Yes, we have
You've,
questions. Yeah.
you've got an elevated deck at the rear.
Can you speak to the microphone?
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah.
So at the rear of the house, you've got an elevated deck. I'm just looking at the west elevation, so I imagine this might be the south side of that deck. Would it have overlook issues over neighboring property?
I don't think there is. There's a fence and the neighbor has a covered porch, but part of the staff report on file is that planning did flag that, so they're looking for a privacy screen along that.
Terrific,
Yeah.
thank you.
And so that's part of the conditions and we accept that.
Thank you. And just the driveway that you are proposing, that's going to be a new driveway, I assume?
That's correct.
Would be a condition that it be produced out of permeable materials be okay?
Yeah, we don't have any soft landscaping requirements, so there's a slight reduction in landscape, but even as asphalt, we meet our requirements on the entire lot for permeability.
Yes, I
So
think that.
other than just penalizing the owner for the additional expense of doing permeables, if it's if it appeases the committee, all right, but I would request that we would just keep it up to the owner to decide how he wants to do that, given the fact I don't have that variance.
Yeah, I think the permeability is really for the long-term porosity of excess moisture that we seem to be experiencing these days. So I think it'll be always a good thing for the long term.
But even if, I think if you keep it asphalt, there's still permeable asphalt available these days, yeah. In a lot of commercial parking lots, they use permeable asphalt, yeah. Okay. Any other questions? No. Yeah.
Through you, Madam
Yeah.
Chair, before you do go into committee, we did receive a very late report from Urban Forestry, and they are imposing condition number 2 if the committee is to approve this.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So we are ready to discuss this application. Do you have anything you want to address the panel before we move into discussion?
Me? No. I guess condition number 2 is what, to submit a report. Is that what that one is?
Yes, Urban Forestry just gave us a very late report, asked us to impose Urban Forestry condition number 2. If we're going to approve.
Can we clarify what that is specific for the applicant's sake, if in case he doesn't know what that condition is? We just, so he understands?
Through you, Madam Chair, the report is up on the screen, and so it's just the submission of a complete application to remove, the private tree.
Number 2 is very standard.
There's no trees on our property, even close, so I'm surprised that arrived, but I guess we'll see.
I would just reach out to Urban Forestry and they'll provide a clearance letter if there's no issues.
Yes,
No problem.
usually they will clear it if there are no issues, yeah, okay. All right, so we are in committee now. Okay.
Do you want to, since you mentioned that?
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Jordan. I think this is a supportable application. I was a little concerned about variance number 3, but I think this is a supportable application, and I think the agent has clarified for me one of my concerns, which is the privacy issue, but I think planning already picked that up. So I think we've got 2 conditions attached, planning and forestry.
Yeah.
And I'd like to add the permeability issue. Whatever materials they use is up to them, but as long as it's permeable, I think that would be good. So I'd like to move forward a motion to approve with the forestry number 2 condition, planning condition, and that the driveway be made of
3 conditions.
permeable material.
Sorry, through you, Madam Chair, point of correction, it's Urban Forestry number 3. We mixed it up with the next item.
Okay,
Okay.
all right.
Still a standard, I know, but for the applicant's sake, maybe just
Yeah.
clarify, it's a standard,
Yes, as I recall, number 5 is what you have to watch. Number
Yes.
5 is to refuse.
And 4 sometimes.
Okay, so number 3.
Number 3.
So anyone,
I'm happy to second.
okay. With the 3 conditions, and Mr. Allison second, all in favor, approve with 3 conditions. Okay, I have to wait till if 3 conditions and approved unanimously, it's approved. Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, is it number 26? Yeah. Okay, number 26, let me get it. The next item is number 26, 66 Jackman Avenue. The purpose is to alter the existing 2.5-story detached dwelling by constructing a rear 2-story addition, a complete 3rd-story addition with a rear 3rd-story terrace and a rear ground floor deck. They are seeking 6 variances, and on this file, we receive a copy of survey site plan, floor plans, and elevations, a revised site plan, and also a revised zoning notice, 2 photographs of trees, and presentation material from the agent, and comments from community planning, and also we received support from 68 Jackman Avenue.
Through you, Madam Chair, we do have the agent online, again, Trevor Gain, and then we have 1 registered speaker.
Okay. Is in opposition?
Online. I believe so.
Yes.
It could be an interest.
All right.
Sorry, through you, Madam Chair,
Yeah.
I was unable to locate the registered speaker. I've tried emailing and calling the participant.
Okay. So
It'll just be the agent that we
that's the
speak to.
agent. So then there will be no other speakers. So I'm going to see whether we require with the presentation then. No, we do not require presentation. You have any questions?
I did, if I may.
Yes, we
Chair.
have a question.
I was just
Mr.
going to
Gain.
ask, maybe it's more assumption on my part, the existing garage, is that going to be replaced with soft landscaping?
Yeah, there's an existing double garage at the back. So one of the bays will be removed, and right where the cursor is on your screen, that will be reverted back to soft.
That's good. And the other question is, I know you've got a terrace on the 3rd floor, but it looks like it's set back, so it almost looks like a Juliet. So if the overlook issues may be minimized because of that?
Yeah, that's correct. So you mentioned a planning report. I have not seen that. So unless they flagged it, but in speaking with them before, that we have a significant setback from the rear property lines. Mm-hmm. And given the fact that we're kind of sandwiched in between a bunch of other 2.5, 3-story homes, that there really isn't any overlook in that. And that balcony is really just a building code issue. We have to have a egress out of it off the 3rd floor. So, we comply with the 4 square meters. It's just, it is what it is.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, I just want to add one more thing. We have this cantilever bay window off the 2nd floor. So I think if you scroll up 1 page, right where the ensuite is. So it's not a minor variance, and there's really no changes to the application. But part of our discussions with the neighbor to the south was that they wanted us not to have this bay window. So there's no real way to tie this to plans, or we couldn't submit them in time. Like I said, the variances don't change because it is an as-of-right projection. But just for the public record, I just want it to be known that we're planning to remove that bay and just make the back wall flat.
Yeah, as long as it doesn't affect any of the variances, I think that this should be okay.
No, there's no building length, there's no projection, there's no setback. It is, like I said, it's an as-of-right projection, but just part of to be neighborly, we agreed to it, and it doesn't affect our layout at all. So.
All right. Yeah. Thank you. Any other questions? I don't have any questions. No. So we don't have any more questions for you, Mr. Gay. So we are in committee now. We're going to discuss this.
Through you, Madam Chair, again, for urban forestry, this one is condition number 2.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, we received this late, so we didn't know ourselves, so we just find out you have a urban forestry condition 2. Yeah. All right, so
I'm happy to bring a motion to approve the subject application with the condition of urban forestry number 2, which was just noted. I think generally I'm satisfied that the variances that are being approved don't result in sort of any undue or unnecessary massing or overlook, and I think it fits well within the existing context.
Yeah. Second, Mr. Bayer, second. All in favor with the urban forest condition? Approve. Yeah. With the condition. Thank you very much. It's approved with the condition. Yeah. And now we are at 27. Yeah. 20. So. Okay. Sorry. I have to get 20. And 27 is 129 Shanley Street. This is to alter the existing 2-story semi-detached dwelling by constructing a complete first-story addition, rear second-story addition, and a rear ground floor deck. So the front second floor box bay window and with a front first-story balcony and a second and third floor rear balconies. They're looking for 3 variances. And we also receive on this file a copy of survey site plan, floor plan elevations, revised site plan, floor plan elevation, and also wetline public notice, and 3 photographs of the subject, and email from the agent.
Through you, Madam Chair, we do have the agent online. We have 1 person here registered to speak and 1 person online.
Okay.
Hello?
Shamil, you've been muted.
Hello. My name is Shamil Qureshi. I am speaking from 2275 Lakeshore Boulevard West.
Okay.
I'm representing the homeowners for 129 Shanley.
Because you have made some revisions on the variances, maybe we should go through the revisions first to make sure we capture all the changes. Yeah.
Okay. So the revisions, basically, there are 2 revisions. Number 1 is the an increase in the soft landscaping of the rear yard. So that has been increased from 42.9 square meters to 47.19 square meters.
Okay, and the
And it's
percentage?
also,
The percentage is,
the percentage is 35.2%.
okay,
That's number 1. I guess I'll discuss that more on the site plan. And number 2 is that because we have set back the 3rd floor addition from both the front and rear side of the building by 3 feet, that's led to a decrease in the FSI, so of 0.99 as opposed to the 1.03.
and the square meters is,
265.88, the
Okay.
revised square meter.
yeah, it's done, right, it's captured. Okay, now we're ready for your presentation. Yeah. You have 5 minutes.
Thank you. If we could go to the site plan. So with regards to variances 1 and 3, I just want to quickly mention. So variance 1 is regarding the front setback. So that bay window, you can see the shaded part, that's the existing bay window. What we've merely done is to straighten out those edges over there. So really that's the existing setback to go with the modern character of the house. Number 2, if we go to the rear yard, so these numbers are a bit deceiving on the public notice. If we look at the area that we have, excluding the deck and the garage, and including this hatched area, which has been converted from the hardscape to the to softscape, the vast majority of the rear yard is soft landscaping. And lastly, I just want to mention that we've taken care to not conflict with the existing character of the neighborhood and consulting with planning staff, which is what has led us to add that setback in the 3rd floor addition, both on the front and the rear yard side.
And so we've tried to be as as to fit into the character to the neighborhood, the existing character as much as we could.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Thank you, and if there are further questions, happy to answer.
We're going to hold our question to them
Okay.
after we hear the oppositions. Let's bring the first up. Yeah, one.
Yes, we can call up Judith Parker to the stand.
Thank you, members of the committee. Yes, it's Judith Parker. I'm just a neighbor, and I'm not an urban planner or designer or an architect.
Can you give us also your address? Your
615 Gladstone. So
6155.
yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
So thank you for giving me some time. I won't take up much of it. I wanted to be here today because this property was, and I believe still is, registered as a short-term rental with the city. And I am advised by the city councilor's office for this ward that a municipal standards officer has recommended that the short-term rental registration be revoked for concerns related to the principal residency requirements. Now, I understand that as an administrative body, you need to be making decisions based on the criteria that are set out before you in the zoning legislation. But of course, you know, one of the considerations, in fact, several of the considerations that you need to bring to bear on this decision include the general intent and purpose of the city's official plan, as well as the general intent and purpose of the city's zoning bylaw, which does allow for short-term rentals, but only if they comply. And so it seems to me that expanding this building by 1/3, more than 1/3, because there'll be a whole new story plus all of the additions to the front and back, is not a good idea at this time until it's established whether or not it's operating within the City of Toronto's laws with respect to land use. So I think that this matter should not be allowed, or it should be deferred until such time as the recommendation that's been put forward by the municipal bylaw officer has been considered by the short-term rental office, and it's determined whether or not they will be allowed to continue to be registered. So that's all I have. I appreciate that this is rather an unusual concern to bring to this committee, but I have to urge upon you the idea that these things do not live in a vacuum. And although perhaps not the normal considerations that you might look at, such as shadows and privacy, you know, it's very concerning the city is allowing ghost hotels to run, and we do not devote enough resources to preventing that from happening. And you know, if this was just neighbors wanting to expand their house, I wouldn't be here today. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any question to this speaker? No.
I might have one question,
Okay.
actually, if I may. I'm just curious, I mean, in your opinion, how would the outcome of such an investigation inform us as a committee if we're just looking at zoning, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, the zoning also says that it has to be used, it has to be one of the uses that is allowed under the zoning bylaw.
Yeah, but it's a proposed, right? They're proposing something, so whether or not they intend to, intend to change the use, right? If they, depending on the outcome, but the existing use, right,
But-
as it is right now, I just question how that may influence any, you know, outcome. Because it's a proposal, right? They haven't built it yet, they haven't occupied, so.
Well, they
we can
can't if
only
you don't allow them, right?
Well,
So-
But they're not, oh, sorry, yeah, that's not in front of us. Whatever I mean, the use is still residential. That's as
Yeah.
far as this application tells us. This did not say it's a hoteling, they did not say anything, and we cannot disprove something that they're not asking for, right?
yeah. But I certainly would say, I mean, if there is a sort of misuse,
There's
there's
a-
other
there's other
departments
process.
that certainly can.
They have to go through another process to get that approved.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially short-term. I know in our neighborhood, there's a lot of people renting it out. They have to go through complaint process, get approved, but then they're still breaking the whatever.
As I was just thinking about the comments that you were making, that there's nothing in the purpose in this application that asks for change of use or a particular use. So that use is not in front of us, and it's not something that we can then rule on, as it were.
Or enforce, it's
Or
not
enforce,
even, yeah.
Yeah, it's an interesting conundrum because obviously the use of this property is something that comes under the work of the Committee of the Adjustment, right? And the fact that an applicant is not raising a change in use or admitting the use that the property is being put to means that you're hampered in making a decision based on all of the evidence.
Oh, no, I don't agree that, only because you're making I'm not assuming, you're telling us does not come from the applicant. It has to come from the applicant that they want to use it that way.
Yes,
Right?
yeah, exactly. And since they aren't putting that forward, there's no way
Maybe.
for you to consider it. But why would they put that forward?
I do not know.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah. Okay, let's go back to the agent.
Well,
Oh,
hold on. We
there's
do have
another-
one other speaker,
Oh,
and
sorry,
that's a
yeah.
question that you can put back to the agent, because the
Yeah.
plans do show as a single residential dwelling unit. We will unmute Todd Patterson at this time.
Todd, you've been unmuted.
Oh, good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. Yes, good afternoon, Madam Chair and committee members, and thank you for allowing me to come. My name is Todd Patterson, and I am living at 127 Shanley Street.
Okay, yeah.
I've been a resident for about 20 years. The request of the variances, and this is a semi, I of course live next door, has come to my knowledge in just under 2 weeks. I was out of the country. So I do have the paper in front of me. I have a couple of questions, and I think the better I'm informed would help me determine if I want to accept this proposal or go against it. So the first questions in priority is foundation. As a semi-detached home, we do share the foundation. The house is over 100 years old. My understanding that this property, which if it is a single detached, a single property that is registered, is it going to be obviously multi-unit rental? Okay. Within that, we do share the same wall. Is there a party wall letter that will be provided? And I don't know the full terms and definitions around that, but through some legal counsel, I've been asked to ask that question. Mm-hmm. And then a shadow study. It came to my attention with the third item here that we're now changing 32.27 to 35.2. This does affect the backyard, my backyard as well. So those are a couple of questions I have to date. If someone could answer that, please.
Okay, yeah, we can get the agent to answer those questions. Yeah. All right, so you finished, or you want to?
Yes, go ahead.
Mm-hmm. No. Okay, so I think you have questions to this speaker? No, we don't have questions to you. Okay. So we can bring back the agent, and yeah.
Yes, so for the first part, with regards to the foundation and the actual construction works, so I believe the building process, the building permit process would also ensure that, of course, all the precautions are taken not to cause any sort of damage or there not to be any negligence with regards to that process and with regards to the neighbor's property. As far as the shadow study is concerned, so the rear yard is located towards the south, which is why I believe there would be very little shadowing towards the neighbor's backyard. And as for the short-term rental, this is something that, of course, the clients have not, homeowners have not spoken to me about. I don't believe that I could speak to that topic. It hasn't been something that they have brought forth with me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Any question to the applicant? Okay. I have one question. Just this a staff report imposing like 3 conditions. Have you seen those conditions?
Yes, we've seen.
Yes. And so you're okay with all of them, right?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
just a quick question, if
Yeah.
I may. Just looking at the site plan, the rear area, there's an area on the west side that's identified as hard surface to be covered by grass or converted to grass. There's a similar area that's got similar markings on it, a pattern on it, on just below or just west of that spot. Is that going to be converted to grass as well, or is it just the one at the west side?
Yeah, both of those areas. So you'll see that the two arrows, I guess the one arrow is getting covered a bit by the property line and those marks on the bottom, but both those areas are to be
Both
converted
areas,
to.
okay.
Yes.
Yeah, it wasn't quite clear on that I can see that it's identifying both, but if both are, that's great, thank you.
And the community planning advised us to impose that the revised site plan is tied to the approval.
Tied to
Yeah.
say revise, oh, that's terrific, yeah.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, okay, we don't have any more questions to you, so we are in committee now. Yeah. So I think with the planning conditions, I feel a little bit, safer to have approved. Because they suggest privacy screen imposed, the third condition, yeah.
You noted there was three separate
Conditions.
conditions.
Yeah, yeah. They come in a supplemental package.
Yep.
Yeah. Although it was labeled wrong, labeled a different item.
I think the variances that are before us, the amended variances
Yes.
before us, I think are reasonable.
Yeah.
This project isn't an outrageous project.
Mhm.
Certainly fits into the nature of the community as well. So
Mhm.
it's a supportable application,
Mhm.
and despite the lady in opposition, there's nothing that we can suggest that the use of the properties other than as intended as a residential space, presumably for one family.
Mhm.
So I think it's a supportable application as amended
Mhm.
with the conditions that we have before us, and I think that's just the planning condition that we have.
Mhm. We don't have any for urban forestry, right, or this one, okay. Yeah, as amended too, right? They have
As
amended.
As amended, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm happy to second that.
And Mr. Edison is happy to second, so all in favor with the condition and amended addendum? Approve, thank you. Okay, is it the last item, number 28, is 493 Plains Road. And for the purpose for this application is to construct a two-story detached two-unit dwelling with a front integral garage, a front covered porch with stair, and a rear floor deck, ground floor deck with stair, a rear second-story balcony, and a rear basement walkout. And the existing one-story auxiliary building will be demolished. They're looking for 6 variances, and they have on this we also received a copy of surveys, site plan, floor plans, elevations, 3 photographs of trees, and presentation material from the agent. And we have support, 9 letters of support and 18 signature petition of support. And opposition, we have 1 opposition from 27 North Long Boulevard.
Through you, Madam Chair, we also have the urban forestry memo on this one.
Okay.
And it conditions 2 and 3 if this application were to be approved.
Okay.
No registered speakers for this item, and at this time we'll unmute the agent.
Okay, thank you.
Hello, hi. My name is Daniel Vinciani, 3 Halberdier Place, and I'm the agent for the owners.
Yes. Thank you. You do not have any oppositions, but I'm going to see whether we want a presentation from you.
No, but I perhaps just a few
question.
words about the
Yeah.
lot coverage variance.
Yeah, you want him to speak to, yeah.
Yeah.
Can you do that? We have a question that would like you to speak to the lot coverage.
I know there's some supplemental material, but some of the numbers got
Is the
lost.
variance number 6, yeah.
Sure. Being that this is a corner lot, actually we could have had the building pushed forward more, but because it wouldn't comply with minimum requirement for parking on private property, that way we had to push the building a little bit back. The other reason why we're seeking for a little bit more coverage is because the basement now will be a secondary unit, so we'll kind of take off square footage from the residents upstairs and will be its own unit. So to compensate a little bit for that, we're asking for a little bit of coverage.
Just, they have a little bit bigger so that they can keep and, add another unit. Any other questions? Yeah, we have another question.
Just a quick question. I'm just looking at your site plan, and you've got a driveway now that will be accessed from Plains Road.
That's
I
correct.
assume that's the new driveway that goes to the integral garage. Is that going to be permeable materials? It looks like brick pattern, but I'm not sure what your intentions are, because I'd like to add that be produced out of permeable materials.
So that is going to be interlock, but the owner is considering in the future maybe to do a heated driveway. And as of right now, we are in compliance with the requirement for soft landscaping in the front and in the back. And the bylaw, as it stands right now, doesn't mention any trade-off or incentive for permeable material. So at this point, we would rather have it the way that is shown on the plans.
The interlocking brick itself has gaps between them, correct?
Yes.
So that would allow for some permeability.
Yes, that is correct.
I always ask this question because when I look at the amount of rain we had today, yesterday, and day before, and even in January, it's something that I think long-term, that in the long term, I'll need to have to answer to my grandchildren why we didn't do anything about the runoff and the wastewater management issues. So for that reason, I always ask that we think long-term.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, thank you.
Mm-hmm. So do you still want to impose that condition?
I'd like to.
Yeah.
I think we have to
Yeah.
think long-term.
Yeah. And also, in a way, you can also push the more developed permeable assembly for asphalt paving. They do it in large-scale commercial
Yes.
parking lot.
Absolutely.
Maybe they will be more like common if we push that material. Yeah. Anyway, okay. Any more questions to this? So we do not have any more questions. Now we are in committee. Okay. Yeah.
Sure, certainly. I'll take this one to Chair. Thank you.
Okay.
I think the project as a whole is supportable. I think it's also the context. It's a corner lot.
Mm-hmm.
There's a fair bit of there's no imposition on a neighbor on the east side at all. So it's a very supportable project. Mm-hmm. And having a basement suite that potentially provides additional accommodation, that's great. I would like to add a condition that whatever form they choose, that at least the driveway be permeable.
Yes. I do also take Mr. Ellison's point that the coverage, if it's a new building, you wonder why the coverage will be 7% more. But then the explanation, they have a garage and then they have to make the basement like a good sized unit, then they take a little bit more coverage, so that good explanation, I guess.
I think also balancing that lot coverage variance with the permeable pavers helps to, it gives the assurance that there is
Yeah.
enough permeability on the site,
Yeah, that's
right?
right.
Because lot coverage also,
Yeah,
well,
you
if
take
there's no-
away the
right.
permeability. Yes, yeah, you're right, so, yeah, absolutely. Okay, so, Mr. Byatt, is that a motion? It's all urban forestry condition 2 and 3 too.
That's right, sorry, for forestry 2 and 3.
Yeah, and the new driveway will be constructed with permeable material.
yeah.
Okay, 2 conditions. Second, Mr. Ellison?
I will second that, yeah.
All in favor with the conditions? Approved unanimously. Done. And now is 3:35, the meeting adjourned, 3:35.
Thank you. We'll shut everything down. Hi.
We've
already dealt with that one. We just finished.
My cardiac arrest can't be for nothing.
Did you, we only had the agent online. Were you registered to speak?
I sent Madame Nouri a letter earlier. We were speaking to her yesterday and today. Made it clear that we wanted to attend.
Okay.
Stuck in traffic.
Yeah, but the item has been dealt, we're actually, the meeting is adjourned at this point. We're done. So it's been approved on conditions.
And the appeal process has been,
The appeal process, we're not able to accept third-party appeals. The province stripped that right. When did your request come in? Like,
Yesterday.
Oh, okay, so that's too late.
made it clear that we intended to attend here today. I sent a letter
When did you send your letter?
this afternoon.
Okay, everything is very late.
Yes,
Yeah.
understood.
The members need enough time to review. We typically accept letters up until like.
I wasn't even intending to
Yeah.
present the letter. I was